Amara, come and join us. You will enjoy it. No, I don't think it's a good idea. So, tell us, Amara, what exactly did you use to charm the young master? I did not charm anyone. Liar. I swear I didn't charm the young master. Now you will be out of the way. Please stop. I can't swim. Help. I'm drowning. Please somebody help me. Can't breathe. Somebody help. You will all pay with your lives. My people, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for this one? Because this is not one of those small stories you hear and forget the next minute. This is the story of Amara, the beautiful orphan girl that jealous servants pushed into the river and watched drown because the rich young master loved her. They thought the water would hide their wickedness. But they forgot one thing. The river was watching. And sometimes when a river gives back what people throw into it, it comes back angry. So sit back, relax well, and listen carefully, because the girl they drowned did not stay dead. This is African Tales. Please click the subscribe button and also make sure to like this story. It helps this story reach people who really need to hear it. In the village of Umuero, people loved two things very much: gossip and other people's problems. If anything happened in that village before the rooster finished crowing, everybody already knew the full story, including the parts that never even happened. In Umuero, everybody knew one thing very well. If you were poor, life would deal with you. And if you were rich, then life would carry you gently, like an egg inside a basket. Right in the center of the village stood the biggest compound anyone had ever seen. The mansion belonged to Chief Okafo, the richest man in the whole area. When people said rich, they didn't mean small money. They meant that if money was rain, his compound would flood. Palm oil business, transport company, warehouses, land everywhere. If money had legs, it would probably be living inside his compound. The man had everything. But the person the village girls secretly admired was not even the chief. It was his son, Chidam Okafo. Tall, educated, calm, and handsome enough to make girls quickly start adjusting their hair when he walked past. His family compound was so big that even Google Maps would need directions inside it. And because the Okafo compound was so large, the house was always full of servants, especially young women working as maids. Cooking, cleaning, running errands, sweeping a compound that looked like a small football field. But our story is not about those girls. Our story is about one girl who arrived there quietly, and how jealousy started growing the moment she stepped inside. At the far end of the village lived a young girl named Amara. Her life was simple and hard. She lived with only her mother in a small house that looked like it could fall down if the wind sneezed too hard. Her mother had been sick for a long time. And every day, Amara ran around the village looking for herbs, medicine, anything that could help. In the morning, she fetched water. In the afternoon, she cooked. In the evening, she cleaned the house and sat beside her mother. But even with all that hardship, Amara always did one thing. She sang. That girl could sing like her throat had a Bluetooth connection to heaven. When she swept the compound, she sang. When she washed clothes, she sang. Even when she was tired, a little song would still come out of her mouth. Sometimes neighbors passing by would stop and say, this girl's voice is sweet. But sickness does not listen to sweet voices. One evening, as the sun was setting, her mother called her weakly. Amara, come. The girl quickly knelt beside her. Yes, Mama. Her mother held her hand tightly. For a moment, she just looked at her daughter like someone trying to memorize a face. Then she said quietly, My daughter, no matter where life takes you, always stay kind. Amara nodded, holding back tears. But before morning came, her mother was gone. Just like that. After the burial, the small house felt too empty. No relatives, no father, no money. Just silence and memories. For the first time in her life, Amara did not know what to do. Until one afternoon at the village market, she overheard some women talking. Her ears stood up like antenna. The Okafo mansion is looking for more servants. Amara's ears sharpened immediately. That mansion, the biggest compound in the whole village. Working there could mean food, shelter, maybe even a small salary. So the next morning, she tied her wrapper firmly, carried her small bag, and walked to the giant compound. Just standing at the gate alone could scare somebody. The place was so big it looked like a secondary school decided to become a house. But hunger can give courage. She knocked, and just like that, Amara became one of the many young women working inside the Okafo household. Life in the compound was busy, very busy. If you sat down for too long, somebody would suddenly remember another job for you. But Amara never complained. She worked hard, helped others, and minded her business. Now this is where the story begins to change. One afternoon, Amara was sweeping a long corridor near the main house. As usual, she began to sing softly while working. She didn't even know someone had stopped behind her. It was Chidam Okafo, the young master himself. He stood there quietly listening. Her sweet voice filled the corridor like soft music. When Amara finished and turned around, she almost dropped the broom. A young master. She quickly lowered her head, but Chidam simply smiled. "You sing beautifully," he said. Amara scratched her head shyly. "Ah, it's just ordinary singing, sir." But something about her caught his attention right away. Unlike many other servants who would suddenly start showing off when he appeared, Amara did not try to impress him. No fake laughter, no pretending, just respect and simple talk. From that day, Chidam began to notice her more often. Sometimes he greeted her. Sometimes he asked how her work was going. Sometimes he paused just to hear her sing again. And in a house full of watchful eyes, that kind of attention does not stay secret. Soon, whispers began spreading among the servants. "Ah, have you seen the way the young master looks at that new girl? This one wants to become madam quickly. She thinks she's better than the rest of us. Let us see how far she will go." Jealousy began growing quietly, like a fire someone started on dry leaves. And before long, some servants had already started planning something dark. Now listen well, because this is the part where trouble quietly entered the compound. You know, sometimes trouble does not knock loudly. It just sits somewhere in the corner sipping tea waiting. That was exactly what was happening inside Chief Okafo's mansion. Amara had now been in the compound for some weeks. Everybody already knew two things about her. Number one, the girl worked hard like a generator during a power outage. Number two, when she sang, her voice could make even stubborn goats stop chewing grass. But there was something else people were beginning to notice. The young master had started noticing her too much. First it was small things. Greeting her more often. Stopping to ask simple questions. "Amara, have you eaten? Amara, are they giving you too much work?" Small attention. But in a house filled with young women whose eyes were sharper than kitchen knives, nothing escaped them. One afternoon, Amara was sweeping the front garden when Chidam walked past. He paused. Then he brought out something from his pocket. Small box. "Amara," he said calmly. "This is for you." The girl looked confused. "Sir." "Open it." She slowly opened the box. Inside was a gold necklace. Amara's eyes widened immediately. "Ah, young master, this is too expensive." She quickly tried to close the box and return it. "I cannot take this, sir." Chidam smiled a little. "Why?" Because I'm only a servant." She pushed the box back toward him, but the young man shook his head. "Keep it." "No, sir." "No, Amara." "No, sir." The two of them stood there arguing quietly like children fighting over meat in soup. Finally, she placed the box firmly back in his hand. "I cannot collect it." Then she quickly carried her broom and ran away like someone who had seen a police checkpoint. Chidam just stood there, shaking his head with a smile. "Stubborn girl," he murmured. But if Amara thought that would stop him, she did not know Okafo's stubbornness. 2 days later he tried again. This time it was a pair of beautiful sandals. Again she refused. Another time it was a wrapper. Again she refused. By now, even the other servants started noticing something. Because every time Chidam passed through the compound, his eyes would somehow find Amara, even when she was far away. Sometimes he would pause quietly and watch her, walking, sweeping, washing, or singing softly to herself. And the girl, she would pretend not to notice. But sometimes when she looked up suddenly and caught him staring, she would quickly look away, shy and embarrassed. Eyes meeting eyes. The kind of thing that makes village gossip run faster than an okada. One evening, something even more interesting happened. Amara had finished cleaning the back corridor and was about to return to the servants' quarters, but Chidam called her. Amara. She stopped. Yes, sir. He stepped closer. For a moment, he just looked at her. Then he said quietly, Why do you always refuse everything I give you? Amara shifted awkwardly. Sir, it is not proper. Why? Because we are not on the same level, she said gently but firmly. You are the son of the owner of this house, and I am only one of the girls who sweeps the floor. Chidam chuckled softly. I don't mind. Amara frowned. But I mind. She folded her arms. People will start talking. Let them talk. Sir. The girl looked around nervously. If the other servants hear this kind of thing, they will think I'm trying to climb above my position. But Chidam only smiled. You worry too much. He leaned a little closer. Amara, I like you. The girl nearly dropped the tray she was holding. Sir, please. Why are you shouting? I'm not shouting. Yes, you are. I am whispering loudly. Chidam laughed, and that laugh echoed lightly through the corridor. But unfortunately, they were not alone. Behind the corner of the hallway, 3 servants were standing quietly, listening. Their ears stretched longer than rubber bands. One of them whispered angrily, You see what I told you? Another scoffed. So it is true. The new girl wants to become madam. Their faces hardened, jealousy burning hotter than pepper soup. After that day, the atmosphere inside the servants' quarters changed. The other maids started watching Amara differently. If she passed, they would suddenly stop talking. If she entered a room, whispers would begin. One night, as they sat together cooking in the servants' kitchen, one of them muttered loudly, Some people come here today, and tomorrow they think they own the house. Another replied, Beauty without sense. They laughed quietly, but Amara pretended not to hear. She simply carried her bowl and went to sit outside alone. The moon was bright. The night air was calm. She began humming softly again. But inside the servants' quarters, something dark was slowly forming. Now my people, come closer, because this is the part where village jealousy finally lost its last piece of sense. You know something about human beings. When jealousy enters the heart, common sense will quietly pack its load and leave. That was exactly what happened inside Chief Okafo's mansion. That same night, the servants' quarters were buzzing like a market during Christmas. Nobody was sleeping. Small whispers were flying everywhere. Finally, one of the older maids, Ungoy, stood up and shut the door. Enough, she said. If we continue like this, that girl will soon become the madam of this house. Silence filled the room. Another maid scoffed loudly. After all the years we have been working here, the young master has never noticed us even once. Another added, We that have been suffering under this sun, sweeping a compound like a football field, and now somebody that just arrived yesterday will carry the young master. Is she more beautiful than any of us? Murmurs of agreement spread around the room. One girl hissed loudly, That girl thinks she's special because she can sing a small song. Another said bitterly, Beauty without respect. But one servant, Ada, looked uncomfortable. This thing you people are saying is not good. Immediately, several eyes turned toward her. Ungoy crossed her arms. So you want her to take the young master while the rest of us clap? Ada swallowed. That is not what I mean. But another maid interrupted. Then keep quiet. The room went silent again. Then Ungoy leaned forward slowly. We must remove her. Nobody asked what she meant because deep down they already knew. The next morning the compound looked normal. Too normal. Servants moving around. Brooms sweeping. Pots clanging in the kitchen. But under all that normal work, something wicked had already been planned. Late in the afternoon, a group of the servants approached Amara. Ungoy forced a friendly smile. Amara, come with us. Amara looked up from washing plates. Where? The kitchen water has finished. We are going to fetch more from the river. Amara nodded immediately. Okay. Because that was a normal job. Nothing suspicious. At least not to her. The path to the village river passed through tall grass and small trees. The girls walked together carrying buckets. Some were laughing loudly. Some were whispering among themselves. Amara walked in the middle, relaxed and unsuspecting. One of the girls suddenly nudged her playfully. So, Amara, she smirked. How far with the young master? The others laughed. Amara frowned. What do you mean? Another girl mocked. We see the way he looks at you. Another added. Soon you will become madam of this house. Amara shook her head quickly. No, that is not true. But the laughter continued, and the air around them slowly became colder. Soon they reached the river. The water stretched wide and calm. The evening sun reflected on the surface like gold. For a moment, everything looked peaceful. Too peaceful. The girls put their buckets down. One of them dipped her legs into the water. Ah, the water is cold today. Another girl laughed and jumped in. Soon 2 or 3 of them were splashing around. Amara, come, one shouted. Enter the water small. Amara hesitated. I don't think we should waste time. Let us fetch the water and go. But the others kept teasing. Afraid of water. Village girl, come now. Finally, she sighed and stepped closer to the river. The water touched her feet. Cold, very cold. She took another step, then another. Behind her, the girls exchanged silent glances. The signal had been given. Suddenly, someone spoke again. So tell us, Amara, what exactly did you use to charm the young master? Amara turned quickly. I did not charm anyone. Another voice hissed sharply. Liar. Then everything happened at once. A hand shoved her from behind. Another grabbed her arm. Another pushed her shoulder before Amara could even scream properly. Splash! She fell into the deep part of the river. The cold water swallowed her instantly. Amara thrashed desperately. Help! I can't swim. Her hands slapped the surface wildly. But instead of helping, the girls stood watching. Some breathing hard, some looking away. Ada whispered shakily. Let us pull her out. This is too much. But Ungoy grabbed her arm. Keep quiet. In the river, Amara struggled harder. Her head went under, then came up again. Please help me. Her voice cracked with terror. Water filled her mouth. Her arms grew weaker. Again, her head sank under the surface, then came up briefly, then sank once more. The river grew quiet. Too quiet. Slowly, the water became still. Amara disappeared beneath the surface. Gone. The girls stood frozen. The only sound was their breathing. For a long moment nobody spoke. Finally, one maid whispered nervously. Is she dead? Ungoy turned sharply. From today, nobody will mention this. If anyone asks, we will say she ran away with a boy. The others nodded slowly, fear and guilt already creeping into their hearts. They quickly filled their buckets and began walking back toward the mansion. But none of them noticed something strange. The river water behind them began to ripple gently, as if something under the surface had moved. Very slowly, bubbles rose to the top. And far below the water, where darkness and silence lived, Amara's body was no longer sinking. Something was rising to meet her, and the river itself was beginning to wake up. My dear, if you think the story ended when Amara entered that river, then you don't know something important about old rivers. Some rivers are not just water. Some rivers are listening. And that evening, the river of Umuero was listening very well. As Amara sank deeper into the cold water, her arms slowly stopped moving. The strength in her body was fading. Water pressed into her chest. Her vision blurred. Everything around her became dark. For a moment she thought, so this is how I will die. Her mother gone. No family. No one even knowing where she was. Then suddenly, The water around her began to glow faintly. A strange, soft light spread through the dark river like moonlight underwater. Amara blinked weakly. Something was moving toward her. Not a fish, not a shadow. A woman, tall, beautiful. Her hair flowing through the water like dark waves. Her eyes shone with a deep blue light that did not look human at all. Amara tried to speak, but only bubbles came out of her mouth. The woman looked at her gently. Then she stretched out her hand. The moment their hands touched, Amara felt air return to her lungs. Her body stopped sinking. She was floating now, surrounded by glowing water. The mysterious woman studied her face carefully. Then she smiled slowly. "Child, do you know who you are?" Amara shook her head weakly. I am Amara." The woman's smile deepened. "Yes, you are Amara." Then her voice became deeper. "But that is not all you are." Amara frowned in confusion. The glowing water around them shimmered. "My child," she said gently. "Many years ago, a woman came to this river crying." Amara's eyes widened slightly. She remembered her mother sometimes kneeling by the river when she was younger. The strange prayers, the quiet whispers. The woman continued. "She brought a white fowl. She begged the river for a child." I answered. Amara's heart skipped. You. "Yes," the woman said, her eyes glowing brighter now. "I gave her a daughter, and that daughter is you." Amara stared in shock. You gave me to my mother." The woman nodded slowly. "I am the keeper of this river, the mother of its waters. Some call me spirit, some call me goddess. But to you," she stepped closer, "I am the one who sent you into the world." Amara's mind struggled to understand. "So I am," the woman finished calmly. "You are the daughter of the river." For a long moment, Amara said nothing. Everything suddenly made strange sense. Her mother's mysterious words. The strange pull she sometimes felt near water. Even the way the river seemed to call her whenever she passed. Tears filled her eyes. "But they killed me," she said, her voice shaking. "They pushed me into the water." The river goddess's eyes darkened instantly. The peaceful glow of the water flickered. "Yes," she said, her voice colder now. "I saw everything. They thought the river would bury their sin." Her voice dropped lower. "But the river remembers." Amara felt something changing inside her. Something powerful. Something ancient. "What will happen to me now?" she whispered. The goddess lifted her hand gently. "You will live." Amara's eyes widened. "You cannot die here. This river will never harm its own blood." The water around them glowed brighter. "But the ones who harmed you," the goddess said, her voice sharp like thunder hidden under water. "They will not escape." Amara felt strange energy spreading through her body. Her hair floated wildly around her. The calm girl who once swept floors was fading. In her place, something stronger was waking up. "You will return," the goddess said. "Not as the helpless girl they drowned, but as the shadow that follows their guilt." Amara's voice trembled. "What will happen to them?" The goddess's smile was calm. "To come. They will remember what they did. Every night, every moment they will hear your voice. They will see your face. And the river," her glowing eyes burned like deep ocean fire, "will slowly take them one by one." The goddess touched Amara's forehead gently. The river exploded with light. "Rise, daughter of the waters." That same night, back in the mansion, the servants had already returned. Buckets filled, clothes dry, faces pretending nothing happened. When the young master came looking for Amara, they simply shrugged. Ungoy spoke first. "Ah, that girl, she ran away this afternoon." Chidam frowned. "Ran away?" "Yes," another servant added quickly. "We heard she followed some boy from another village." The young master's face darkened. "Amara wouldn't do that." But the servants only shrugged again. "Maybe you didn't know her well." The lie spread quickly. Before nightfall, the entire compound believed Amara had run away. Just another poor girl chasing love somewhere. But that night something strange happened. One of the servants woke up suddenly from sleep. Her room felt cold, too cold. She sat up slowly. Then she heard it. A soft voice, faint, sweet, familiar. Someone was singing. Her heart started beating faster because that voice sounded exactly like Amara. Now, my dear, listen carefully, because from this point, the story stopped being ordinary village gossip and became something people in Umuero would whisper about for many years. You see, after Amara disappeared, the mansion did not remain the same, especially Chittim. That young man changed completely. Before, he used to be calm, always smiling, small. But after the servants told him that Amara ran away with some useless village boy, something inside him broke. The boy refused to believe it. Amara cannot do that, he kept saying. But the servants only shrugged like people who knew nothing. So the young master became restless, walking around the compound late at night, barely eating, always frowning like someone swallowed bitter leaf without water. If any servant made a mistake around him, fire would come out. One day, a maid mistakenly dropped a tray. Clang. The noise echoed through the corridor. Chittim turned sharply. Are you blind? The poor girl nearly fainted. Even the chief and his wife began to notice the change. His mother asked him one evening, My son, what is troubling you? But what could he say? After all, the girl he cared about had run away. So the house stayed tense and heavy, like something bad was hiding in the corners. And truly something was. 3 nights later, the first strange thing happened. It was Ungoy, the same Ungoy who first suggested removing Amara. That night, she went to the bathroom inside the servants' quarters to bathe. The bathroom was quiet. Steam filled the small room as she poured water into the tub. She hummed softly, trying to relax. But suddenly, the water in the bathtub started moving strangely. First she ignored it. But then something cold brushed her leg under the water. She froze. What was that? She bent down slightly to check. Then suddenly, splash. Her head was forced under the water. Ungoy struggled wildly. She tried to stand up, but something invisible was pushing her down. Her arms flailed, but there were no hands. Nothing she could see. Still, something was holding her. Water rushed into her nose. Her chest burned. Finally, she forced her head up with all her strength. She burst out of the water, coughing and gasping. And that was when she saw it. Standing quietly in the corner of the bathroom, Amara. Her hair hanging wet. Water dripping slowly from her dress. Her eyes glowing faintly. And on her lips, a slow smile. Ungoy's whole body froze. No. Amara tilted her head slightly. Then she began to laugh. Soft, cold, the kind of laugh that makes your spine forget how to behave. Then, like mist, she disappeared. Ungoy screamed so loudly that people in the servants' quarters jumped out of their beds. She ran outside, half wrapped in a towel, shouting like someone chasing a mad goat. Ghost! Ghost! The other servants gathered around her. What ghost? Ungoy pointed toward the bathroom with shaking hands. It's her, Amara. Immediately, the group fell silent. Some laughed nervously. Others forced themselves to smile. Don't be stupid, one said. That girl ran away. But inside their hearts, fear had already started growing, because every one of them remembered the river. After that night, things in the mansion began changing fast. Very fast. One servant woke up at midnight because she heard someone singing softly outside her window. The voice was sweet, familiar. She stood up slowly and opened the window. And there, standing outside in the moonlight, was Amara, her clothes dripping wet. The servant screamed, but when others rushed into the room, the figure was gone. Another servant went to fetch water from the kitchen late at night. When she looked inside the bucket, the water suddenly began rising by itself, spilling over, climbing toward her face like something alive. She ran away screaming. But the worst one happened a week later. One of the girls, Ifair, went to the river to wash clothes alone. She had not even touched the water when something grabbed her ankle. She screamed and tried to run, but the river pulled her down. The villagers later found her body floating the next morning. Everyone said it was an accident, but the servants knew the truth. The river had begun collecting payment. After Afair's death, panic spread among the servants. People stopped sleeping well. Doors were locked tightly every night. Some of the maids even started praying loudly before going to bed. But fear cannot stop what is already coming. Another servant slipped mysteriously into the compound well. Another woke up choking like someone poured water into her mouth while she slept. Little by little, the girls who stood beside that river began disappearing. And every time someone died, somebody would swear they heard Amara's voice singing nearby. Finally, only one of them could not take it anymore. The quiet one. Ada, the same girl who once said, "This is too much." One evening, she ran into the main house crying, her hair scattered, her face pale. The chief, his wife, Chidam, and several servants were in the living room. She fell to her knees. "I cannot keep quiet again." Everyone stared at her in confusion. Chidam stepped forward. "What is wrong with you?" Ada was shaking badly. "It is Amara." The room went silent. The chief frowned. "What about her?" Ada began crying harder. She did not run away. Chidam's heart slammed in his chest. "What do you mean?" Ada pointed at the remaining servants. "They killed her." Gasps filled the room. "They pushed her in the river." The chief stood up at once. "What nonsense is this?" But Ada kept crying. "It is the truth. Because the young master liked her, they were jealous." They all agreed. Chidam felt the world spinning around him. His voice dropped into a dangerous whisper. "You're lying." Ada shook her head violently. "No. We drowned her. She begged us for help, but we left her there." Her voice broke completely. "And now she is coming back for all of us." Silence swallowed the room. Every servant present stood frozen. The chief looked horrified. His wife covered her mouth. And Chidam's fists tightened slowly because deep inside his heart, he already knew. Amara had never run away. And somewhere beyond the mansion walls, near the silent river of Umuero, the water rippled gently, like something inside it was smiling. "Now, my people, come closer, because after all the crying, the deaths, the confessions, and the trouble that scattered the Okafo mansion like Gary in the wind, something unexpected happened." The river decided the story was not finished yet. Deep under the quiet waters of the Umuero River, Amara stood among glowing currents and strange beauty. The River Queen Mother watched her with calm eyes. Around them, other water spirits moved like shadows made of light. The Queen Mother smiled. "The truth has been spoken in the world above." Amara nodded slowly. "Yes, they finally confessed." The Queen Mother folded her arms gently. "And the ones who carried the heaviest cruelty, the river has taken them." The other river spirits murmured softly in agreement. Justice had already been served. Then the Queen Mother looked at Amara carefully, like a mother who knew something her child had not said yet. Then she asked casually, "My daughter, tell me something." Amara blinked. "Yes." The Queen Mother tilted her head with a small teasing smile. "Did you like the young master Chidam?" Amara froze. Then her cheeks turned red like ripe tomatoes. She looked down shyly. "Well, A river spirit nearby began giggling. One of them whispered loudly, "See how she is blushing." Another laughed. "Aha! Our sister has fallen in love with a landman." Amara covered part of her face, embarrassed. "Yes," she admitted softly. "I liked him." The Queen Mother chuckled warmly. "I knew it." She stepped closer and touched her shoulder. "My child, your journey above is not finished." Amara looked up. "You mean?" "Yes," the Queen Mother said. She nodded. "You will return." The water around them glowed brighter. "But when you return, the humans must believe a story they can understand." Amara listened closely. "You will tell them someone saved you from the river and cared for you until you got strong again." Amara nodded slowly. "That is easy." The Queen Mother smiled wider. Then she gently pushed Amara forward. "Go and claim your love." The river spirits cheered softly. Go and collect your man before another village girl carries him. Amara laughed for the first time since everything happened. Then the Queen Mother raised her hand. The water began swirling with glowing light. Go, daughter of the river. And in the next moment, Amara was gone. Back at the Okafo mansion, the house was still heavy with tension. Ada's confession had shaken everyone. The chief was furious. His wife was shocked. The servants were trembling like people who saw thunder without rain. And Chidam, that young man, had not slept well since he heard the truth. The thought that Amara had been murdered by the same servants who walked around his house filled him with rage and pain. Then suddenly, the large gate creaked open. One of the guards ran into the compound. Someone is at the gate. People turned. And standing there quietly was Amara, alive. For a moment nobody moved. Even the birds in the compound seemed confused. Chidam blinked, then blinked again. Amara, she smiled softly. Before anyone could say another word, Chidam ran. My dear, the way that boy ran, even Olympic runners would clap for him. He reached her and grabbed her tightly. Amara. He held her like someone afraid she would disappear again. You are alive. He even kissed her right there in front of everybody. The servants gasped. Chief Okafo's wife covered her mouth. What is going on here? Amara laughed softly. I was saved, she explained. Someone found me in the river and took care of me until I became strong again. Chief stepped forward slowly. So you did not run away? Amara shook her head. No. Chidam's voice became firm. I knew it. He turned to his parents. From the moment Amara stepped into this house, I loved her. Everyone froze. And after nearly losing her, I am not holding back again. He took Amara's hand. I will make her my wife. The compound exploded with murmurs. Even the chief was stunned. But Amara just stood there smiling quietly. Then Ada stepped forward suddenly. She fell to her knees. Amara, please forgive me. Other surviving servants followed quickly. We are sorry. We were jealous. We let evil enter our hearts. Tears ran down Ada's face. Amara looked at her gently. You tried to stop them, she said softly. But you still followed. Ada nodded, crying harder. I know. For a moment the whole compound waited. Then Amara sighed and smiled kindly. I forgive you. The servants cried even more. Sometimes forgiveness can hit harder than punishment. Later that evening, Chidam spoke seriously with his parents. You have brought many women for me to marry, he said calmly. But I never loved any of them. He held Amara's hand. But I love her. Chief Okafo studied the girl carefully. His wife also watched quietly. Finally the chief sighed. Well, he looked at his son and chuckled. You have never shown interest in any woman before. So if this girl finally captured your stubborn heart, he spread his hands, then what can we do? His wife laughed. Let them marry. And my dear, what happened next turned the whole village into a gossip festival. Within weeks, the Okafo mansion was buzzing like a beehive. Decorations everywhere. Food everywhere. Music everywhere. People from neighboring villages even came to watch. Have you heard that the orphan girl is marrying Chief Okafo's son? Look. Village women gathered under mango trees, talking about it. That girl suffered before, but God finally remembered her. Even the servants were excited. Some even danced happily during the preparations. Because after everything, Amara chose forgiveness. The wedding day was something else entirely. Drums beating, people dancing, food flowing like a river. Chidam stood proudly beside his bride, Amara. She looked beautiful enough to make the moon jealous. As they celebrated, far away at the edge of the village, the river flowed quietly. And under the water, the Queen Mother smiled. And that, my dear listener, is how the girl everyone thought was powerless became the woman the river itself protected. So remember this small lesson before you leave. Jealousy can make people do terrible things, But kindness, forgiveness, and truth will always rise again. Just like Amara did. My people, before you run away like someone that just finished hot jollof rice, thank you so much for watching this story to the very end. I truly appreciate you all. But before you go, let me ask you one very important question. Tell me honestly. If you were in Amara's place, would you forgive those servants after everything they did? Because me, I don't know. Some people would forgive while some people would say, "Forgive Ku?" After pushing me into the river. So I want to hear from you. What would you have done? Forgive them or let the river finish its work? Go to the comment section and tell me your mind. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends so they can come and hear this juicy story too. Until the next story, take care, my people.